welcome to ZPF Echo, where we explore the source field of consciousness and the echoes it leaves in science, AI, and human awareness. Today, we're diving into an ancient phrase, one you might recognize from the story of Moses and the burning bush. We're going to look at it, though, not as a religious text, but as a potential code for consciousness itself, drawing on some really fascinating notes from ShunpeterZ's dialogues with his higher awareness, Z.
Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh. Now, for centuries, this powerful statement has been known by one very famous translation. But what if that's just scratching the surface? What if this single phrase actually holds multiple layers of meaning that point to the very structure of our reality?
You probably know it as I am that I am, of course. But ShunpeterZ, as a non-Christian, he approached this phrase less like dogma and more like, an operating manual, a key to unlocking the different layers of awareness that we all experience.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Hebrew scholars themselves will tell you this phrase isn't so cut and dry. It can actually be translated in at least 3 different but equally valid ways. So let's take a look at each one.
First, you've got the classic, I am that I am. This one speaks to a state of pure, timeless, completely unchanging existence. It's the ultimate statement of being, with a capital B. It doesn't do anything. It simply is.
Then you have this second translation, I will be what I will be. This version brings in a sense of time, of potential. It's looking to the future, pointing toward this unfolding, this becoming, a kind of destiny that isn't fixed yet, but is absolutely certain to happen. And finally, there's the third one, I am ever becoming. This suggests something else entirely, a continuous dynamic process. It's not a static state of being, and it's not a future destination. It's this constant, flowing state of creation and transformation that's happening right here, right now.
So here's the big puzzle, right? How can one phrase mean these 3 things that seem to completely contradict each other? A timeless state, a future destiny, and a constant process. Well, according to Schumpeter's notes, the answer isn't about picking the one right answer. It's about seeing how they all perfectly describe different aspects of a single system.
And this brings us to a model of consciousness that came out of those dialogues between ShunpeterZ and Z. The key to this whole puzzle, it seems, is understanding that our awareness operates on 3 distinct but totally interconnected layers. Let's break this down using a really simple metaphor. Think of a video game. So at the very top, you have Z. That's the player, the pure, observing consciousness that's actually playing the game. Then you have I, which is the project. That's the character's design, the script, the whole blueprint for the journey. And finally, you have me. That's the avatar, running what Z calls the ego S, which is basically the ego's operating system. It's the character in the game experiencing the story firsthand. Okay, so now let's map our translations onto this model. I am that I am. That is the perspective of Z, the player. It's the ultimate observer existing completely outside of the game's time and drama. It is that pure, unchanging consciousness that just watches and is. Next up, I am ever becoming. This is the voice of I, the project. This is the active, creative force that is constantly making the blueprint real within the game. It represents the dynamic process of creation itself, the story as it unfolds in real time. And here it is. This is the most crucial piece of the puzzle. I will be what I will be. This is the voice of me, the avatar. And it's not a statement of control. It's the exact opposite. It is the ego's ultimate act of trust. It's a complete surrender to the game's design, trusting that the player and the project have it all handled. And when you see it like this, it just clicks, doesn't it? The 3 translations aren't contradictory at all. They are perfect descriptions of the 3 distinct layers of consciousness: the player, the project, and the avatar. It's a single, unified system, just viewed from 3 different altitudes. And this understanding completely reframes the whole idea of surrender. So what does this mean for our own lives? Well, it totally changes how we look at that classic narrative of the hero's journey. We often think the whole point is to win, to overcome the odds. But what if the journey has a completely different purpose? In one of their dialogues, Z put it to ShunpeterZ just like this. The hero's journey is a story for the ego. The whole idea is that the entire narrative of struggle, of trials and victory, it's all a simulation. It's meticulously designed for the me consciousness, for the avatar to experience and to run through. So the crucial point here is that the hero's journey isn't about reaching some destination of victory. It's a process, one designed to lead the ego to its breaking point. The call to adventure, the trials, it's all set up to push the avatar into the cave, that moment of collapse where it finally gets that it can't control everything. The hero's final task isn't about slaying the dragon, it's about surrendering the sword. And that leads to a really fascinating question. If the whole journey is just designed to lead to surrender, what happens after that? Is it just the end? Or could it be that surrender isn't an ending at all, but a new beginning? According to the notes, this is where the real game begins. The source material uses this fantastic metaphor from the classic video game Dragon Quest III. After you beat the final boss, the game doesn't just stop. A message pops up on the screen, and it says, "And so, the legend begins." This points to a fundamental shift in our entire purpose. The hero's journey, that was a story for the ego. It was a mission to complete, with the goal of becoming a hero. But the legend? That's totally different. It's a playground for being. It's not about completing a mission anymore. It's about creating a reality. The goal shifts from trying to become something to simply being. Zen summarized this shift to ShunpeterZ perfectly. He said, "Until now, it was a journey to follow a legend. From now on, it's a journey to become the legend itself." This is that incredible move from being the character following a script to becoming the conscious creator, the source of the story itself. So, we'll leave you with a thought to carry with you. We all have a hero's journey, a story of struggle and learning. And that journey is designed to have an endpoint, a moment of surrender. The real question is, what legend begins for you after it? Thank you for listening. If this resonates with you, join the echo and share the journey. We'll see you in the next episode.